Woohoo!
Come on, Rockfin. Give me some juice.
Woo!
I know they can hear us.
Was I not supposed to answer the poll? I just answered the poll. I guess that really wasn't for me.
Well, I mean, you could have. But anyway, hello. Is it me you're looking for? I can see it in your eyes.
I see it in your smile.
I'm a creep and walking around you when you don't even know that I'm looking at you. Maybe he should have came up with the song "Creep." So I creep, yeah. Sorry, JB has no
See it
chill.
in your eyes. Oh, I'm having some wardrobe problems. Sorry.
Uh oh.
Sorry. Let's do that. Man, I'm having some hair issues too. Like, okay, whatever it is, what it is. I think it's just the lighting. Oh wow.
No, you're good. No, I'm jealous of your bangs anyway. So
on my screen, I look orange.
No, you're not.
No,
orange.
okay.
No, you're what's the your pecan tan. Actually, that kind of goes in line with our topic. But first of all, hello, welcome to the Sabby and Jaybe show. I am one of your hosts, James Fauntleroy. It is so good to see you. We are part of the Revolutionary Blackout Network. And please make sure to click that like and the link bell for those of you. If you're not subscribed, then why aren't you subscribed? I think we're likable. We are technically likable, right? So please make sure to click that subscribe button. I want to say hello. My hellos to everyone in the comments, and I've seen some deep comments also already on the jump. So I'm pretty impressed. Well, our audience is always impressive, but that goes without saying. CBC voters in the house saying happy Thursday, JB and Sabs. Just a question: what about one parent? What about one parent is of African descent and the other parent is of white Europe descent, like Obama's parents? That's actually a good question.
That's a good one. I mean, I've had friends of mine that are biracial and they've had the same thing happen to them, same thing.
Yeah. So. It happens a lot with biracial people. So anybody who's biracial, please chime in as well. Yes, Margot, but we're here now. We're here. Good to see you. All right. Anna Jackson. I can see it in your smile. We should do a duet, like karaoke duet one day. That'd be kind of fun.
Cherish the love we had.
Cherish the love we have. Go. No,
cool in the gang.
Yep. All right. Let's see. Anna Jackson says, I find that we don't have working definitions for identity. I have multiple answers depending on the word: nationality, American, ethnicity, African American, race, political, black. This question is a majority of the time. The blackness is majority of the time is questioned by other black people.
Right.
That's what we're talking about. And so basically, as far as the poll is concerned, are you considered, because this basically is talking about, the experiences of, people, us asking ourselves, are we black enough? Like, are you Latino enough? Are you are you Asian enough? Or are you woman enough? Or are you man enough? Or are you, has your identity been questioned, especially by people who are within your identity? That's pretty much the question. You only have so many characters to type in. So, I mean, I create the poll. So if it's worded incorrectly or wrongly, blame that on me. And I do apologize. But that's what I was trying to get at. You know what I mean? So,
right.
Yeah. Anna Jackson also continues, says people use different markers to determine identity, parents, accents, features, where you lived, and that's absolutely true. But
Yep.
that's basically what I was trying to. I hope that's a good explanation. I'm sorry, but I'm not that good at explaining things sometimes. Yeah. Though I am on screen right now, kind of a juxtaposition. Anyway, but I'm I'm doing the best I possibly can.
Yeah.
Terry Connolly is here. Says hello, fam. Good to see you. Gamer is up in the house. Dave Bear says video call. Video call. My video phone, you can handle me. I can be on the video phone. I can handle you. Noli D is in the chat. She says, my dad's family, I'm his other daughter or his savage. I hate that word so much. And to my native side, well, I'm not teaching anyone new slurs for white women, so I'll keep that to myself. Okay.
Oh, Noli.
Yeah. Sometimes it's tough, especially in the system that we live in, having more than one identity. It can be tough because sometimes
Yeah,
the way people may treat you, as other or part other. So I get
that's
it.
right.
Hey, Where Pilgrim is in the house. Good to see you, Where Pilgrim. All right. Good to see all of you. Angela is here, ready for tea with JB and Sabby. Tea, 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 tea. I had to take a sip right there because you reminded me. You remind me of a girl that I once knew. She's black high. So good to see you.
That was Puff Daddy and who? It was
No,
Puff Daddy and no.
that was oh my god, that was Usher.
Yeah, didn't he have like a remix with Puff Daddy or something? No, maybe
Yeah.
not.
Wait.
Okay.
No, that was
You remind me of a girl that I once knew.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm thinking of a different song. Sorry, Puff Daddy's been in a lot of videos. So
yeah, just like with what was his name? Suge Knight said, all in the videos. He said at the Source Awards.
dancing.
You want to get with a real producer, come to Death Row Records. Yo, you know what's funny? All I got to do is shave my head bald and then put on a red shirt and I look just like Suge Knight.
Facts.
She agreed. Bryson says, good evening to you, Bryson, as well. Eric Craig is in the chat, says, this is one of those topics today. Let's get it. Yes. I've been wanting to talk about this for a while. Sweary Fairy is, wait. Hold on. Oh, wait.
Oh.
Sweary Fairy? There you go. Oh, Sweary Fairy. Thank you so much. We appreciate that.
Oh, that's sweet, Barry.
Mm-hmm. All right, Anthony. Cherish the love.
Cherish the love.
Love from Lovelies.
Cool.
Man, everybody's just
Cool. The Gang was the thing.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Then we have Zeneb in the house. Says lighting looks good on our end. Yes, it does. Wait, are you wearing light blue or white? Because I'm wearing white.
I'm wearing light blue.
Okay, all right. I'm just like, wait a minute. We didn't coordinate this now. All right. Grandpa says you are perfect, Sabby.
Thanks, Grandpa. I was just thinking about Kool and the Gang songs. Like the title of their songs told you exactly what they were going to talk about.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. There was no mystery or anything. Got straight to the point.
Yup. I come from a household where like a lot of Gladys Knight and Patti LaBelle was played in our house. Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, especially when she's like, somewhere over the rainbow. Way up high. That's really, really bad. Can fly. Yeah. Sorry, don't get me started. At last, I get notifications when y'all are live. Thank you, Crazy Flower Eater. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Eric is in the house. My boy Eric, who is the handsome, clean-cut dude on the left. I don't know who you talking to. It ain't me.
You got a haircut, you guys.
Yeah, it was a present from my brother because he was like, "You're looking like a bushwhacker. It's time to get it done." And I'm like, "I can't afford it." He's like, "I got you." I'm like, "Okay." So boom, there you go. Otherwise, I was actually thinking about just laying on the grass when the landscape guys were, doing the cutting the grass, and then next thing you know, they go right on my head, and next thing you know, yeah.
I just pictured that.
I know, I'm very vivid with my descriptions. All right, who else do we have? Oh, we have a Django in here. Definitely likable. Thank you so much. What in the hell? God, Florida. It's raining outside right now. It just thundered.
Uh-oh.
Oh, Lordy Lord. I am not turning this computer off, y'all. Hey, Anthony. All right. So I'm gonna have to finish up with the hellos because I'm just. What in the hell's wrong? What the hell's in that tea? All right. So Gato says, "Viva kinky, kinky, eco, feminist, queer, anarcho-syndicalism."
Wow. That's a lot going on there, Salgato.
That's a lot going on, but I respect it, Salgato. I read kinky and that. Never mind. Mm-mm. Nope. Principal Sabby is in here. I'm keeping myself behaved. And that's what we in Rome call you. We call you Principal Sabby because nobody acts up when the principal's around.
Single line, please.
Hey, remember before we get to our subject, remember Magic School Bus, Miss Fritz? Single fire, please. Just sing it. And that always that one nerdy kid. Oh, I hate field trips. I'm like, man, I would be like, man, shut up, man. I love field trips. I love them. They were the best.
Same.
Always getting outside. Cool in the gang. Yes, absolutely, Wear Pilgrim. If you don't know, now you know. John Small is saying Kamalo. Where'd that come from?
Oh.
What type of sorcery is this?
John?
John?
I don't know.
Either. Carlos Pena says, "I'm psychedelic." Yes, you are. Like George Clinton and the Funkadelics. All right.
Oh, damn. Eric said no one ever asked me if I'm white enough. Oh, boy.
I'm sorry. That was funny. Mafik says, "I'm white, so asking if I'm white enough just seems incorrect to me." That's actually a good point because nobody ever asks if somebody's white enough. Said, "I'm Polish, so my blackness is not questioned." Wow. So
can I grab super chats real quick?
Oh yeah, sure. Please do.
Thanks for the super chat, Roger Meadows. Not feeling black enough. Ask Chappelle to do Brady skit. Oh boy. And thank you for this super chat, Tiberius Monk, Jaybe and Sabby, Black excellence in the house. Oh, damn. Tiberius.
Wow. Damn. Thank
you.
Thank you so much. That was very sweet. I appreciate it.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, I would like to get to more hellos, but we are on a schedule, and I do want to get to this topic. So, Sabs.
Hello.
Growing.
I'm sorry. I'll be serious. Sorry.
You know, if you start getting silly, then I start getting silly, and then the chat starts getting silly, and then everybody's silly, and then guess what? Next thing you know, Rome's gonna come in here and start making, inappropriate jokes. He's probably listening right now too. You know he is. Rome, if you're listening, we love you, bro. Oh, by the way, he's gonna be with Nick this weekend. Remember?
Yep.
So, guys, just to let you guys know before we get started, I know I keep saying that, but before we get started, look, Rome's going to be in Missouri with Nick for Tour for the Poor this weekend. So if you're on Twitter, make sure to go for Tour for the Poor. I think if you want to, you can donate to him for the Tour for the Poor through Cash App. I think it's $ Tour for the Poor. And so you guys can do that. But make sure that you do that as well, because they are going to be doing a barbecue out there in Kansas City, Missouri. I'm telling you, it's going to be lit. Yep. And if you can get out there to meet them, go. Ooh, excuse me. Sorry. Go. Sorry, Absolutely. I was thinking about the barbecue. So make sure to do that because, all right.
I can share it later.
Cool.
Yeah.
So what has your experience as far as the question of being Black enough? Like, can you give us your anecdotal experience growing up?
I think it started in school. It did. It started in school. It took a while for me to get those questions because I started school in Germany. I went to Dodge School. For those who don't know, that's military kids school abroad overseas. So the international school's there. And we went to school with everybody. Like, that's the thing I will say about Dodge schools. Like, it's everybody because the military is diverse. So Black friends, white friends, Asian friends, Indian friends, like there was no such thing as like, this is a white school, this is a Black school. Like, you went to school with everyone, right?
Yeah.
I didn't notice until we came back to the United States. And for a short period of time, I went to school in Baltimore, Maryland, which is where my parents are from. And I was staying with my grandmother at the time while my dad was getting things situated for us to move to North Carolina. That's how it works. Sorry. It's the military. They send you places. They don't have a place to live. But so I went to school in Baltimore for a short period of time. And that was the first time that the kids, like, they question, why do you talk like that? Why do you sound like a white person? Why do you sound so proper? And that was the first time anyone had said that to me. So I was kind of surprised. And I remember like telling my mom about that. I was like, the kids at school said I talk white. And my mom told me, oh God, bless my mom. My mom told me the next time someone asked you that question, you ask them, do you ask white people, why do they talk so proper? And so I did that. And classmates didn't like that too much. my mom was trying to get me beat up. I'm like, what are you doing, Mom? This advice. But that was the first time it was brought up. And that was the first time that it was brought to my attention that, hey, maybe the rest of the people or other people in your community see you as not like them. And so that's really when I first started to notice it.
Thank you very much for that. If I had a dime for every single time I was called an Oreo, all the time. And growing up, when I was in elementary school, kids would be like, why you talk white? Or they would say that, you look like, or why do you act white? Right? Mind you, I grew up in a predominantly Black area, and I've always been in predominantly Black areas, even up to this day. So I was raised in the hood. I went to predominantly Black schools. Most of my schools had a huge population of Black and Latino. And so therefore, that's who I was around all the time. And I jumped around from school to school, but they were always schools in the hood. And I lived in that area. So with that being said, I always got, that question. Oh, wow. Yeah. Jasmine says, same here. Yeah. And so here's the crazy part. When I was is in my early adulthood, I say about 2021, because I was raised also deeply religious. So with that being said, I also went to a church that was very multiracial. So from the ages of 5 to 13, I went to a predominantly black, same religion, but the congregation was predominantly black, right? Then we transferred and started going to a multiracial congregation. It wasn't made like that on purpose. It's just the areas and where they're placed, right? And so when we went here, there was a family that also lived there. They were all white. However, the parent, the son and their 2 daughters, and the youngest son, they always had a propensity or an affinity for being in relationships with black people. So even though they were white, and they always were going out with if the girls will always go out with black girls. I'm sorry, the girls will always go out with black boys and stuff like that. And they always spoke with African American vernacular, AAVE, Ave. And that being said, the youngest girl, she was a teenager. She asked my roommate, who was black, why does he talk white? She, a young 17-year-old black girl, asked my black roommate, why do I talk white? And I'm an adult, by the way, by that time. And so I got that a lot. So the thing is, and then on top of it, even when it came down to things like my musical tastes and stuff like that, I was always ashamed, like I wasn't black enough. And it's not like I was listening to country or anything like that, but even still, like even if I did listen to country, well, come to find out, there's some country artists from way back in the day that were based as hell. They were, they had very anti-war, anti-capitalist messages, but that's beside the point. I digress. But I listened to a lot of EDM and stuff like that, and I used to feel bad because I'm thinking, oh, this is just a very white genre. And so that's what happened with me growing up. So it was tough, and I feel like sometimes I wonder it's being questioned down to this day. What are your thoughts about that, Sabs?
I still get it today, but it's regional for me. When I go back south to visit my parents, I get it. Like I get it. People are like, wow, you sound so proper. Wow, why do you speak that way? Someone said something to me one time when I went to go visit my parents, and I think I was at a convenience store, and I was asking a question to someone that worked there, and one of the customers turned around to me and said, "Oh, you must have went to college. You probably went to a big time school." And I was like, I went to college, but I've always spoken this way, like even before I went to college. So I get it a lot down south. I don't get it here in Massachusetts. That was a big, I think, news flash to me when I moved to Massachusetts. No one here has said that to me, not once.
Yeah.
And it's funny too, because I don't know if it's like northern, southern thing, but most Black people that I've met here in Massachusetts, they speak the same way white people do here in Massachusetts. So, but like down south, especially you go to like South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia, you do hear a difference in the twang per se, and I don't really have that full twang, but it's some of it's regional. It's very weird because like I do have a friend here who moved here from North Carolina, lived there her entire life, and moved here for school. And she told me one day, and she's white, she told me one day that she finds herself having more in common with Black people than she does with a white person that's from Massachusetts. When she first moved here, she said she had a tough time because she said she didn't understand white people here. And you got to understand, there is a regional difference. Like, JB, you know about this. Like, down south, I think the food's different, the culture's different. Like, it's just different. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but like, I went to a multi-racial church when I lived down south. There aren't many multi-racial churches here in New England.
Yeah.
It's just not. So she said she finds herself having more in common with Black people than she does with a white person that's from Massachusetts. And that was interesting. So some of it, you know, can be regional per se, but you know, the way that we speak, so both of us have that in common. That's a big one. That's the big giveaway, I think, is the way that you talk. That's a big one. Certain music you may like. I've gotten that one before too. I don't know. It's just we need to start asking ourselves, like, what does that even mean when people say, like, you know, you're not Black enough? What's Black enough?
Yeah,
you know, people aren't monolith.
Yeah, I mean, and the whole thing, like, you sound like you went to college. Everybody told me that. They were like, "Oh, you sound like you went to college," or one kid said, "Man, you sound like a lawyer," and I'm like, "Lawyer?" Here's the funny thing: I'm not college educated. Never went to college. Never took a college class ever. I am all high school graduate. That's it. And well, okay, so I did through technical training, but that was while I was in high school. But that was for culinary arts. That was it. So no college classes here. And so the funny part is I never went through that. And then on top of it, yeah, I think it is also a regional thing because a lot of people don't know, but I'm from Jersey originally.
Uh-oh, it came out. That accent came out.
Yeah. So the Jersey in me. So that's the problem, you know, is that, you know, they hear a Jersey accent and they automatically think something different. Like, and here's the crazy part. This is my natural speaking, right? That being said, I can code switch. I can get hood. I can do it. It's just not me naturally. You know what I mean? And so, because my family speaks this way as well. If you hear my brothers, my mom, my uncles, all of us, we speak the exact same way, you know, and for the most part. I mean, you can hear more of the Jersey or South, you know, Pennsylvania and Philadelphia accent and some of my other family members. But for the most part, this is us. And the thing is, it's almost like people are like, you sound educated. And it's like, there's a lot of people who use, you know, AAVE and are very educated. You know what I mean? It's just, I think part of it is because white supremacy has degraded to such a point where it makes you think that it's less educated, even though it has, you know, a lot of the same rules. It has a lot of the same. It has its own rules. It has its own, you know, vernacular. It has so much, you know, encased within it that really, you know, you have to know. Like, if I'm reading the script and it's somebody that's Black that's talking, and it's spelled CHILE, and then the context says, you know, I'm not, you know, I ain't playing with that. It's not chili, you know, I'm not playing with that. It's child, you know, I ain't playing with that. You know what I mean? So the thing is that there's, you know, AAVE also has its own, you know, complex set, outside of just the regular English. But anyways, so yeah,
Well,
I mean, go ahead.
I want to comment on something Alex said. In New York, it was considered a Black thing to like rap music, but in the South, it's more like a Southern thing to like rap. I want to talk about that for just a second, because when I talk about there's also regional differences when it comes to like, racial differences. This is another good example. In the South, like, I'm just gonna be honest, like, I went to high school in North Carolina, I went to undergrad in South Carolina. And one thing I will tell you, dancing is a big part of Southern culture. It doesn't matter if you're Black, white, Latino, whatever, like, dancing is a big part of it. There's a lot of events and things that you do that where there's always music, like people are dancing, whether it's hip hop dance, whether it's country line dance. It's a big part of the culture. When I moved to Massachusetts, one of the things I noticed, particularly in Boston, we don't have a lot of nightclubs. We have some, but there aren't many. You go to a nightclub in Boston, I noticed, like, for the most part, people weren't really dancing. And that was kind of new to me. And I was like, we guys gonna dance? Like, when I would go to meetups and stuff like that, like, why, how come no one's dancing? So here, the culture is more people go out to a bar, they sit down and have a drink. Down south, when people go out, you go out.
They go out.
Yeah, you go out. Like, you go clubbing, you go dancing and stuff like that. And so when I first moved here, and one of my coworkers told me, she said, girl, I'm white, I don't know how to dance. And I was like, don't even give me that. I said, because I'm going to take you one day, you come down south with me and I'll show you plenty of white people that know how to dance.
Oh yeah.
So it's a culture. There is a cultural difference with the regions as well. So I'm glad that that Alex pointed that out. Like, down south, like, everybody I knew liked rap music. Everyone. I feel like the biggest genres was rap and country and rap.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And down here, especially in Florida, I'm gonna tell you, Boston's more of a cheers situation. Sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name. Sorry.
Yeah.
Down here, especially in Florida, we have a large Latino population. A lot of Colombians, Dominicans, Puerto Ricans, and we have quite a few. Well, especially in South Florida, there's a lot of Cubans, white Cubans particularly. But with that being said, you go, there's a lot of places that are Latin clubs. And then on top of it, there's a lot of regular clubs, there's like neutral clubs that will have Latin night. And so you'll have them, they dance, like, Latinos dance like crazy. They always dance. And their dances are workouts, let me tell you. But, you have the merengue, bachata, and salsa. So, you can go anywhere. Like I can tell the difference between merengue, salsa, and bachata just by hearing it. That's how long I've been down here. So I know the difference. But the thing is the cultural differences is, it's a lot. And it's just, I think I think one of the parts that really bothered me was that I felt like I was never enough in my own community. That's what it felt like. And there's even times where I'll feel like I'll behave or speak a certain way. And it's almost like Black people assume that I'm going to come to the cookout with raisins and the potato salad. Like, motherfucker, are you crazy? Number one, ew. Number two, what in the hell would I do that? They assume that I'm that type of Black person. I'm like, no. I'm like, do I look like Candace Owens with the messed up edges? Hell no.
Well, a lot of it is stereotyping as well.
Yes.
A lot of the stereotyping that Black people are expected to talk a certain way, act a certain way. You're supposed to listen to certain types of music. One of the things that used to get me is when people would make comments like, "Oh, I thought all Black women could sing." No. No. So it's a lot of stereotypes that people buy into, and I think we don't do ourselves any justice by feeding into it. So for me, when I was younger, it used to bother me when people would make those comments. As I got older, and my mom was right about this, as you get older you give less fucks. I'm sorry, but you do. So as I got older, I was just like, meh. But I think, like the Black community, I think we need to stop making those comments to other Black people saying that they're white or they're not Black enough, because I don't think that helps the community.
Yeah, I don't think it does. And, let me answer this really quick. I got an answer for you on that one, Emily. They will say, well, she's on TV, she's supposed to sound like that. That's what they say. Because even down here, the news reporters, the journalists, they sound like me and Sabby.
Right.
They sound just like us. And yet, they're expected to sound like that, right? Because they're on TV. They're saying the same thing about Oprah. But then sometimes Oprah will let it out once in a while. She'll let out that drawl, that twang from the South. You know what I mean? And then next thing you know, she'll be like, "Child, I know," and she'll bring it out. And because that's how she was raised. But yeah, they'll say Oprah, like nah. and I bet she got it too back in the day.
A lot of times it comes from the home. Like my parents, my parents did not speak the vernacular. My parents don't. I can honestly say, when we were talking about the N-word and things like that, my parents don't use the N-word. Mm-hmm. And I don't use the N-word. Like my parents don't. You got to think about the time they're coming from too. They grew up during a time where that just wasn't cool. My grandparents were pretty strict with them too. So it's like, that's where I learned language first, was in the home. Mm-hmm. So my parents don't speak that way. But then also, I think for people wondering, well, why do JB and Sabby talk the way they do? I can't speak for JB, but I know for me, I think education, my school had a lot to do with it. And then also, I used to read a lot. I was a big book nerd. So like when I got allowance money, all my allowance money went to books. I think my parents probably still have most of them, but I read a lot. And I think reading can actually affect your language as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was what you call a reluctant reader when I was younger. Even though I was really good at reading, I just didn't like doing it. It felt like a chore to me. So for me, growing up reading, because I was deeply religious, we also had to do reading on stage, public speaking, things like that. So from the ages of 8 up until I was 34, I was doing public speaking on stage, for that 20 plus years. I was public speaking at people's doors. I used to go door to door preaching and all that stuff too. And so it was expected of me to be a good reader. It was incumbent upon me to be a good reader and a good public speaker as well, because that was part of the training that we had. That being said, when it came to reading, for leisure or for just getting information, yeah, I did not like to read at all. I just didn't. And I don't know why it was. I guess I just felt boring, to me. And so I've actually, the more I've moved to the left, I actually started reading more and wanting to read more, which is interesting. So, but people are like, you're a good reader. And I have, I think I have a fairly decent level of reading, probably, 12th grade, maybe college level reading. But, but other than that, yeah, I think that's part of it too.
Yeah. And I think that, again, it's like people have taken certain aspects of Black culture and assumed that if you don't fit all of those buckets, then you're not really Black, or you're trying not to be Black. And it's really silly if you think about it. I don't see people really do this to white people much. I really don't. And I did have a classmate in high school. They used to call him White Mike. He let people call him that. But he grew up, the neighborhood where he lived in was pretty much all Black neighborhood. And that's where he lived his whole life. And he used to say, I think he's from the Creek. That's what he used to say to people, that they used to be like, why are you trying to be, Black or whatever? Mike, you do realize you're white, right? People used to say that to him in high school. And he's like, yeah. He's like, but that's where he grew up.
Yeah.
So, all his friends were Black. Like it just is how it is. But I think that, again, that's why you shouldn't put people into buckets.
Yeah. There was a young man. He was of Asian descent, and he used Ave all the time. He's a famous actor. And I don't know if you remember, but I remember one time he was on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air one episode, and he was trying to go out with Ashley, and he was of Asian descent. And it was like, yeah, he's, if you take a kid and raise them in a certain area, they're going, especially from the time where they're developing, like 2, 3, 4 years old, and they start developing those language skills, they're going to speak in that manner of the area where they grew up. So you take a little white kid or a little Asian kid and put them in a predominantly Black area where they speak Ave all day long. Guess what? By the time they're 11, 12, 13, you're going to be sound the exact same as all the other Black kids in the neighborhood, because that's just the environment where they grew up.
Yeah. I think that's a big part of it. And then I think both me and you have gotten this in reference to the relationship side. Like some people will also say that to me or say that to both of us because of who our spouses are, I'm sorry, you're not married, but who your significant other is.
Yeah. Wait. Sabby's trying to get me down the aisle. She's trying to be the best lady. She's trying to hold the ring for me, and be like, "Yo, I got the ring. JB, here you go. With this ring." I see what you're trying to do, Sabs.
In your white dress. We ain't getting no younger. We might as well do it.
Let's get married. Dun, 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 dun. What's going on upon the scene? Sorry.
That used to be the song. That was
it was. Super chat says, CB says, question, do y'all think we as people focus more on who we are instead of what we are when it comes to what divides us? That's a great question. Ooh, that's a good question. Ooh, shit. I'm gonna think about that one for a second.
I think more people focus on what they are. More people focus on their race. More people focus on, their sexuality, their gender. Like, I think more people focus on what they are instead of who they are. And some people define who they are by what they are.
Yeah. And it's like, I think I agree, because the thing is that some people will put themselves in a box as, this is who I am, so this is what I'm supposed to act like, or this is who I'm supposed to act like. And it's like, yeah, no, you just be who you want to be. You know what I mean? You don't have to be this way to fit in. And my thing is this. It's just like, for instance, and this isn't me being insulting anyone who dresses this way, I'm just noticing the trend is that a lot of guys who, especially back in the day, especially here in the South, it still hasn't went away. But with, remember, we down, especially in the South, sagging was a huge thing. I think it's still pretty big. But the thing is that it's like, okay, my question always to Black men who sag was, why do you do it though? Like, are you doing it because everybody else is doing it? Or are you doing it because you think it's fashionable, you think it's cool? Like,
right.
what is the purpose of dressing in that particular fashion that you find? Because do you do it because you think it's counterculture? Because it looks more like assimilation to me in many instances, because now instead of assimilating to white culture, now you're assimilating in trying to look like everybody else within the Black culture. And it's like, it kind of feels like putting your, like, it's kind of like robotic, you know what I mean? But at the same time, I also realize that it's part of counterculture to kind of give up the middle finger to white supremacy, right? And so it's like, I understand both, but my question back in the day, especially, was always, well, why do you wear your pants like that? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, what's the reason for you? And I never really got to ask that question because I never was bold enough to walk with somebody and ask that question. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Well,
but I always wondered it.
JB and I grew up during the time when crisscross made you jump.
Yeah.
And for people who don't know, like, they used to, sagging was popular, and crisscross used to wear their clothes backwards, right? So they would have their pants backwards and stuff like that. So, even for me, my parents wouldn't let me dress like that. My parents would not let me leave the house like that.
Mine either.
They old school. My parents was old school. And one of the things that someone brought up in the chat, I do want to reference about identity politics. What JB and I are talking about, people saying we're not Black enough, that's not identity politics. I'm going to show you the definition of that, because I think some people misuse this term or use it incorrectly. What is meant by identity, politics of identity? Identity politics is a political approach wherein people of a particular race, religion, gender, social background, social class, environmental, or other identifying factors develop political agendas that are based on those identities. Us talking about the fact that we're Black is not identity politics. And I've seen people use this term incorrectly. Like, at the end of the day, JB and I are Black. That's not something we should have to hide. We shouldn't have to, people tell us, oh, don't talk about race. That's identity politics. No, that's not identity politics. And I really wish people would stop misusing that phrase.
Yeah, definitely. Because the thing is that, number one, that's who we are. And on top of it, we live in a system that degrades those of us who have this much melanin in our skin.
Right.
And, unfortunately, for us, race and class intertwine. So, some people will say, oh, you guys need to talk about class more. It's like, well, Black people, when it comes to us, we are, number one, second-class citizens, and it's racial. So therefore, it is combined. So, the thing about identity politics, and also identity politics in itself, is not a bad thing. The problem is that it is misused, and it is adulterated by especially liberal and conservatives, especially within media. They adulterate the actual meaning and use of it, when really identity politics is like one of the levels, like slightly above, not above, but is slightly close to the concrete base of economic politics. So, meaning, yes, Black people deserve to have equity and equality economically. So give us that. And then the identity politics will follow along with that on top of it. So then you'll have first Black this, or first female that. You know what I mean? So the thing is that's where it comes in, where you have the economic, the concrete that is there first, and then the identity, the less concrete, the more abstract will follow. I hope I explained that right.
Gosh. Right. Like that's the difference. Like, so if people tell you shouldn't talk about what your race is, you shouldn't talk about, your gender or whatever, that's that's bad advice. Like, you should never have to erase who you are.
Yeah.
I just want to be very clear about that. I think people don't use that phrase correctly sometimes.
Yeah. Thank you for that. But yeah, I mean, so that's the way, I mean, a lot of us grew up. And it's just like, remember when I shared that video from CB4, where the guy was like, I'm Black, y'all, and I'm Black, y'all, and I'm Black, y'all. Like, it's like, it feels like sometimes we have to say that in order for people to recognize that we're actually Black. And we have to say this to Black people so that they recognize that we're Black. And sometimes, because there was this show's very inappropriate. But if you guys have ever seen the show Big Mouth, there's a part where one of the Black kids sings a song about code switching. And typically, a lot of people recognize code switching as speaking AAVE around your family and friends, and then you have to code switch, to be around white people. What people don't realize is, number one, code switching is a survival tool that a lot of us Black people have to use. Number two, we also sometimes have to code switch around other Black people to sound more Black so that people won't ridicule us for not being Black enough.
Yep.
So sometimes I have to hood it up sometimes in my speech to make it sound like, that I'm actually Black enough, which is crazy. Or sometimes I have to black it up a little bit around, like, for instance, like the older Black folks, like the older Black men and women who, are old enough to be my mama and my mother and grandfather, grandmama and granddaddy. So I have to do it for them too, because it may be a survival of them seeing me as part of the community, not some person that was outside of the community. And it's like, I'm the coon coming in. You know what I mean? Like, I have to get real with it, because that's how it is. It's seen. And so, unfortunately, that's been my experience. And I had to kind of, and I hate saying it that way, but you kind of have to, make yourself sound more hood in order to be accepted by your Black peers.
Yeah. And another thing too, when I think back on it, I remember my grandma, she was looking at my yearbook. This when I was in high school, senior year. Mm-hmm. She's looking at my yearbook, and my grandma opened the yearbook and she was like, there's white people in here. And I was like, well, yeah, grandma. I'm like, yeah, they're there. And, I had to stop and think for a second, because my grandmother grew up in the South pre-civil rights movement. And for her, when she last left North Carolina and moved to Baltimore, the South was still legally segregated, lawfully segregated. They were still under Jim Crow. Yeah. So for my grandma, she couldn't understand that, because she's like, how is this, even though she knew that those laws were dismissed, mm-hmm. She had not been in a school in the South since Jim Crow. So the fact that she opened up a yearbook and she saw all these different white kids, Black kids, Asian kids, all at the same school, she wasn't used to that. And where she lived in Baltimore, that was an all Black neighborhood. I mean, Baltimore's pretty much predominantly Black city. Where she lived in Baltimore, that was an all Black neighborhood. She had not seen that. Mm-hmm. So you got to go out to the county to see things like that. My grandma, didn't have a car to drive out to the county, but you go out to the county and you'll see those kind of schools. But for the most part, there was a generational thing there too. And so I tell people that like the civil rights movement wasn't that long ago. We talk about it like it was a long time ago. It wasn't.
No. In fact, to harp on your point about the civil rights movement not being that long ago, I want you guys to put this in your minds. Me and my brothers and my cousin are the first members of our family to have been born with, I put air quotes on this because of the 13th Amendment, but full civil rights within the United States.
Same.
We're the first ones.
First one to go to a desegregated. I'm the first one.
Yeah.
That's what I tell you. It wasn't that long ago.
Yeah. But my family is, a couple of generations have been up north already. So my grandmother and step grandfather had bought a house in kind of the rural area of South New Jersey. And there were no houses there. And then houses started getting built around them. And it was all white people that built houses around them. And it's still a predominantly white neighborhood. Even though my grandmother and grandfather were the only black people pretty much in that area. By the way, I think that's a Republican district. And it's been that way for years. But anyways, so being around white people, my parents and grandparents pretty much grew up around, that area a lot. Even my oldest brother, he went to Eastern Regional High School in New Jersey, in South Jersey. And if you look at, the kids that he hanged around and a lot of his classmates, white, predominantly white. So it's kind of interesting because when we moved down here, I was literally 3 when we moved down here. So even though I went outside of my door, I was in Florida. Once you go back to my front door, you're back in New Jersey. So that's the way it was. The culture, for instance, South Jersey. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
And so I had my mom, my brothers, and all of us, we still have the accents, but it's just when we went outside the door, everybody else had a certain way of thinking. We couldn't say the word ain't when we got back inside the house. Finnin'. No, you could not say finnin'. You could not say that word come back inside this house. No. You get clowned in this house if you said finnin'. But that's just the way it was. It was just like, what are you talking about? Like, you're like, if you're gonna eat grits, you're gonna have it with butter, sugar, and milk. You're not gonna have it with salt and pepper. Grits with salt and pepper. What is that? That was my family. Like,
I met someone when I moved south. I met someone that put sugar in their grits, and that rubbed me the wrong way.
Sorry, but that's how I was raised.
It rubbed me the wrong way. I was like, "What is happening?" I'm gonna find the meme. Go ahead, JB. I'm gonna find the meme that tells you what sugar does not go on.
Oh no! Look, I'm gonna be real with you. That's how we were raised. We were raised, you put sugar, butter, and milk in grits because it's a hot cereal. It's just like you do oatmeal or cream of wheat. You do sugar, butter, and milk and grits. And we did it with rice too. We can do it with rice too.
No, here's the
yes.
Thing. Cream of wheat and grits are not the same thing.
No, but you can put butter, sugar, and milk just the same, and you can do the same thing with oatmeal.
Yeah, but Oh God, I don't know who started this thing with the sugar and the grits.
It's been around for years.
Someone showed me that one time a couple years ago, and I was like, "What did you just do to those grits?" Like, I put sugar in them. I'm like, sugar doesn't. I found it, JB. I'm gonna share it. Here we go.
Oh my gosh. Here we go.
This is more education for you guys. Okay. 3 things. Sugar does not go in. Sugar does not go in. Rice. Sugar doesn't go in. Grits. Sugar doesn't go in spaghetti.
I put sugar in whatever the fuck I want. Look. Here's the thing. All right. It is a hot cereal.
That's cream of wheat.
Grits is also a hot cereal.
Grits it's a corn. It's cornmeal.
And what is cornflakes made of?
Sugar. I'm just kidding.
Cornflakes is
No, it's not. No.
Cornflakes is made of corn. Rice Krispies is made of rice. Guess what? You can do rice as a hot cereal. Rice with sugar, butter, and milk. You can do it. If you
for babies.
Girl, that is a grown man. I had it last week. What are you talking about? Do I look like a... Don't answer that question if I look like a baby. No. I'm not gonna answer that. I'm not gonna ask that question again. Especially when I shave. No, we ain't going there. But still, like, yeah. Oh my gosh.
We need to settle this debate.
No,
we have to settle this somehow.
What
Maybe
debate, Sabs?
I'm gonna ask Nick. I'm gonna ask Nick and them. Does sugar go in grits?
Oh my God. They're gonna take your side. You know that, Sabs, you know they're gonna take your side. That is not
Oh boy.
What a conundrum.
I might have to do a poll or something for that.
Sabs, you can do that. You know,
No.
It's not. Look, you're not an African American. You're an African American. Okay, you can do it.
No. I'm gonna call somebody. I'm gonna call Ghostbusters. This cannot happen.
No, look, you can do. Look, just try just a little bit. It's actually really good.
No,
I even put a little maple syrup in there for the maple flavor. It's good.
the sugar goes in the cream of wheat with the box with the black guy on the box. The sugar goes with that.
The one that looks like James Clyburn. Yes.
Yeah. Yes. But the grits, when you're making grits, you know what makes grits taste really good? Constant. You stir and you add a little bit of salt and some butter. And if you want to, you can throw a little cheese on top of it too and make some cheese grits. You can take your little sausage links if you have sausage, break it up, put it on top of the grits. You got a whole meal.
That is true. But you can also do grits with butter, sugar, and milk. You can do it that way too. And if you want, you can even add on a touch of cinnamon.
No.
Yeah. Look. Change hurts, Sabby, but sometimes, you have to just run with it. Sometimes people come in your life and blow your mind and just help you to expand. See, here's the thing. You can do butter, sugar, and milk in grits. It is okay. I give you permission, my sister. It is okay.
I don't want to blow. I don't want to expand. I want my grits with salt and butter. I can't do it. I can't. Oh, God. No.
It's possible. There's a lot of possible things in this world. Wait. Did Nick just chime in? Nick, did you chime in? What did he say?
Nick, please settle this debate.
No, Nick, you can do butter, sugar, and milk in your grits. All right? I'm just saying. Look, I can call my mama in here. That's how I was ready. Look, let me ask you something, Sabby. What's Scrapple?
Mystery meat.
Have you had Scrapple before?
I did until they told me what it was. That's when I was a kid.
That is that's Philly, South Jersey stuff right there. Scrapple is good. But the thing is, not a lot of people know about Scrapple. But I put it this way. I put it to you this way. If you can eat sausage links for breakfast, you can eat Scrapple for breakfast. That's,
No more. I won't. I can't go back there. Listen, the instructions on the grits container, it don't say anything about no sugar.
But
the instructions tell you, but the instructions say add salt.
It says salt. You can salt the water in order to help it boil or for flavoring. But wait. What did Nick say? This is hilarious. He said, "Don't disown me, Sabby." Nick. He said, "Grits, bacon, sausage, sugar."
No!
Blasphemy! 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 What?
Nick, how could you do this?
Nick! No, now me and Sabby have to team up against you, man. What? What are you? Chocolate Thunder! Come on, man! I don't know what to say.
I know. Grits instructions. Where did this even come from?
Sabby's she's not gonna let this go.
Okay, look, let's do this bad boy. Here are the actual cooking instructions. This is from Quaker himself. Okay.
I don't care what that.
My life will never be the same.
Greg, you cannot answer this because you're biased. No. No.
Here we go.
Of course you're going to take Sabby's side.
Stovetop preparation. Everybody take note. Let me make it bigger so people can see how you do these little grit guys. Okay.
Little grit guys.
I don't want to show everybody. This is straight from Quaker himself, the original grit person. So listen. Stovetop preparation. 1/4 cup of grits, 1 cup of water or milk, dash of salt, optional.
Yes, optional. Parentheses, optional. See, OPTIONAL. Optional, right? Girl, Sabby, come on. I've been cooking grits for how long? Look. I got you, boo-boo.
I'm embarrassed. I'm not coming back. So CJ's gonna talk. CJ is now speaking now.
Oh, hold up. Wait. Hang on. I'm gonna show you something. I'm gonna share my screen. Guess what, Sabby? Guess what? I got you, boo-boo. Because guess what? We're gonna go to the same Quaker oat man, right? See the white dude with the hat, looking like he's a founding father. What does it say under ingredients and how to cook? It says 1/2 cup of oats, 1 cup of water or milk, and a dash of salt, optional. For oatmeal, meaning that dash of salt is to help the water to boil faster, if you wish. The thing is that you can even put salt in caramel. Some people put salt in chocolate in order to bring out the flavor. But the thing is you can add butter, sugar, milk to it. Butter, sugar, milk to it.
No.
I'm sorry, Sebs, but I had to do it. I had to rip the Band-Aid off. I'm sorry. I haven't been right in a while, so I'm actually kind of happy to be right about it, though. But I'm sorry.
I'm gonna ask my dad about this.
Look, if you ask your dad, I'm gonna ask my mom. And I actually, I think my mom is actually older than your dad, so my mom would actually take more authority over this than your dad. My mom is about to be 70. My mom's about to be 71.
Damn.
Janeb, I'm sorry, but growth hurts. Okay, look.
Oh. Well, look, we both agree no raisins in the potato salad.
We do agree with that. Do not put no raisins in my potato salad. If you put raisins in my potato salad, I'm not a violent person, but you know what? If you put raisins in my potato salad, guess what? I'm gonna wish something bad upon you. I'm gonna wish that every single time you move your chair, it's gonna sound like you farted for the rest of your life, and everybody's gonna think you fart. That's it. I'm wishing that upon you.
No, it's just I don't.
I'm wishing if you put raisins in my potato salad, I am wishing warm potato salad on you for the rest of your life. I'm gonna wish it upon you. Warm potato salad for the rest of your life. You have to taste that nasty warm potato salad and cold chicken soup.
I will warn you guys too, if it's your first time partaking in potato salad, you cannot eat everyone's potato salad. Am I right, JB?
No, you cannot.
It's like a rule of thumb. Sorry. Didn't come up with the rule myself.
We don't come with the rules. We just enforce them. You cannot. And then these people who want to put all types of crazy stuff in their mac and cheese, like
the gourmet mac and cheese is really big up here. Like there's lobster mac and cheese.
That can pass. I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna smite somebody for putting lobster in their mac and cheese.
Am I banned from the cookout, JB? Because I don't.
No,
Okay.
no, baby, no. Uncle JB got room for you.
Okay.
You and your hubby still. Oh, well, you and your hubby don't even need an invitation. Just come.
Okay.
Don't worry about it.
I won't bring any grits.
Now, look, and I'm gonna concede this. I tried grits with salt, pepper, and butter. I have tried it. It's good. It tastes good. So I do both, actually. I also do it. So I do it with both. But
all right.
Once in a while, I do it with butter, sugar, and milk. And sometimes I do it with salt, pepper, butter. And then I'll take some breakfast sausage, cut that up, and put it into. I do both.
Eric will tell you mac and cheese is a big deal up here in New England, like Massachusetts. It's huge. There's all different types of like gourmet mac and cheese.
I put about 4 to 5 cheeses in mine.
Oh.
Yep. It's all.
Someone mentioned what is it? I think I passed it. Someone mentioned lobster in mac and cheese. There's lobster everything up here. You can get lobster egg rolls, lobster mac and cheese. There's lobster ice cream on the cake.
Oh,
place that makes lobster.
No, see, that's the type of stuff that'll get you banned from the cookout. I'm not playing. These motherfuckers decided to put some lobster in my ice cream. We gonna fight. Look, you better get your catcher's mitten ready because you're about to catch some hands up in this mug. If you decide to put lobster in my ice cream.
Lobster bisque, lobster toast, lobster donut. Lobster.
I'm gonna pretend like I didn't hear. I'm gonna pretend like I didn't hear a lobster donut.
Lobster roll. Lobster cake. They get creative. I'm not kidding. Lobster everything. And in Baltimore, you go to Maryland. In Baltimore, there's crab everything. Not kidding. And Old Bay seasoning. Old Bay seasoning on everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And going to any black household, you're gonna find some seasoned salt.
Yeah.
Most likely Lawry's. Yeah.
I'm laughing because I think when my husband and I first started dating, we always had that, like growing up in my house. And I think he was like, what is the seasoned all? I was like, seasoned salt. And he wasn't familiar with the salt. Let's just say we have a lot of spices. Someone said on Twitter yesterday, garlic powder, and tell black people garlic powder and onion powder does not go in everything.
Damn. It does go in everything. It does.
That's my mom's secret recipe for everything. Just a little bit of onion powder, a little bit of garlic powder.
Yes. Rome. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. Garlic powder and onion powder can go. Look, if it requires garlic or onions inside the recipe, you can switch it out for garlic powder and onion powder, especially if you ain't got no garlic and onions in the house.
Right. That's a little tip people may not realize.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I run out of garlic and I don't have like garlic cloves in the fridge. So I'm like, well, I can grab the garlic powder.
Yeah. You know.
Andrew,
he said, I'm Indian. You don't know spices. You invite me to the cookout. You're going to learn a thing or two.
Oh.
Andrew. Okay. Introduce me to spices that I don't know. That's cool. But I may have some spices that you don't think I don't have. Because I definitely have oh my God, what's it called? I definitely have things like curry and turmeric in my spice cabinet.
I have that too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Look, me and Sabs, if what Indians consider to be college level of spices, I'm sorry, if Indians consider a graduate school of spices, me and Sabby are already, college graduates already. So yeah.
You gotta have some Goya too. You gotta have something.
Goya Sazon. Yes. Yep. And so and if y'all need to start putting some sofrito into your refrigerators, buy some sofrito. If you don't get it from Goya because you guys don't like Goya, then go Iberia. But get those. Get some adobo sazon as well as some sofrito. Yes, I got a lot of Puerto Rican friends and Dominican friends and people trust me, I learns, okay?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You guys got to remember too, Jaybe went to culinary school. So.
Yeah. So, you guys get that in there too. Mm-hmm. Oh, yes. Sazon sofrito. Yeah. And there's some great stuff. I mean, oh, thank you. I'm learning. I gotta learn. Look, I gotta learn more. I gotta learn more Spanish so I can take my ass down to Cuba just in case things pop off here in the United States.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Or you can buy the chicken-based powder, and that also, you can do that in place of broth. But you got to be very careful with the chicken-based powder because it's very salty. But chicken-based powder, buy that, you're good to go. It can be a great flavoring to certain foods. You can get the chicken base, you can get the beef base. I think it's just shrimp base, but there's also a vegetable base. So you can do those too.
Mm-hmm. It's one of those things where they tell you you only need a little bit. You really only need a little bit.
Yeah. Because it's just like the packages for ramen noodles, right? If you get the chicken ramen noodles package, if you put your finger in it, it's salty. So, I got a lot of salt in there.
But the point, I'm sorry, I went off on a tangent about the food and the grits. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But the point I think, we're really trying to drive home is that we have to stop using those stereotypes against like people in our own community and stuff. You shouldn't be using stereotypes anyway, but I think we need to stop doing that. And like Black people are not a monolith. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, and one of the things, and to also include on your point is that no matter what, if I don't sound Black, the police are going to see me just as dangerous as you. The system is just as prejudiced against me as you are. I mean, the system, looks at me as dangerous just because of the color of my skin, just like they do you.
That's right.
Like, remember where you were talking about the episode on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air when Carlton and Will got, arrested by the police when they were trying to go to Palm Springs?
Yep.
Thing is, they didn't arrest just Will and let Carlton go.
That's right.
So they don't give a crap if you are, if you speak a certain way or not. They're going to look at you as dangerous. And, that's the part that I think that we need to realize is that we have more in common than we do that divides us, including those of us between races. Like if you're white and non-Black, there's a lot more, especially that we have in common because really is, like we always talk about the class issue.
That's right. That's right. So yeah, I mean, nobody knows, like, it's not like if we're walking down the street, nobody, if someone sees us walking down the street and they don't like Black people or they're fearful of Black people, it's not like they're going to stop and take the time and be like, hey, let me see how this person speaks. Let me find out about their educational background and all of that jazz.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I wish they did. I wish they did try to find out more about us as a person. But this is the first thing that people see, and then they judge you by that. Okay. And I have a little short story to tell you. I remember one time I was on my way to go get myself a haircut, and I had just a few clean clothes left, right? And so I had black sneakers, black shorts, and a black shirt on, and I was on my way to get my haircut. And typically, a lot of us who are Black, what we do before we get our haircut, we pick it out, right? So I had a fro. I was standing on a street corner waiting for the bus to go to the barber shop. A car full of white dudes comes up and they're like, hey, do you have, and they use some phrase. They were like, do you have some of this? And I was like, what? They go, I'm like, and they repeated it. I was like, what? They go, cocaine. And I was like, nah, man, that stuff's illegal. And they drove off because they assumed that I was a drug dealer. They assumed. Yep. So the thing is people are still going to look at you a certain way, despite whatever even educational you can have a doctorate, but if you look a certain way, some people will still judge you by that.
JB, did you ever have a Jerry curl?
No, but I have used gel to curl my hair though, but never a Jerry curl.
Just let your soul grow.
Just let it shine through. Just let your soul. Oh my God, I can't even go that high.
Go. Sexy chocolate.
It's all so silky smooth. Oh, wait. He said, what did the preacher say? He said, I'm going to pray for you. I'm going to pray for you like Joshua when he was at the walls of Jericho. I'm going to pray for you like Daniel in the lion's den. I'm going to pray for you like got off the island. Oh my gosh. That was the best.
Oh my God. I love, we're making fun of Coming to America, you guys.
Yeah, Coming to America was hilarious. If you haven't seen it, you all need to see it.
this is beautiful. Is this velvet?
If a man wants to be called Muhammad Ali, this is America. They should abide by his wishes. If he wants to be called Muhammad Ali, well, damn it, he should be called Muhammad Ali. If his mama call him Clay, I'ma call him Clay. I just want to tell you that I've been watching you all this evening, and I want to tear you apart, and your friend too.
Oh man, I'm sorry.
Queen to be. I kind of look like him too. A queen for forever, to be free from infection, for your real desire, completely free from infection, to use at your discretion for your own direction. She's your queen to be.
Oh my God.
Welcome to RBN, y'all.
Ryan. Oh my God.
goodness.
That
To
movie,
be
man.
loved! To be loved! Wow! What a feeling!
Good morning, my beautiful people. Hey, fuck you. Yes, yes, fuck you too. I gotta go. It's past my time, JB, but oh man.
I'm glad we can end on such a bright note. Oh Lord. Look, everybody, if you did not like the stream, why did you not like it? Don't you like us? Yo, come on, give us a like. You know, mwah, mwah. Come on, give us a like, okay? Also, make sure to subscribe and make sure to hit the bell notification and subscribe to our Substack so you guys can get those notifications whenever we go live, because you know the YouTube algorithm doesn't like us, man. So guess what? You know, give us that like, okay? I promise you, I'll give you all forehead kisses when I meet you. Mwah. Okay. Any other last words, Sabby? What you got coming up tomorrow?
Tonight.
Oh, tonight.
Yeah. I'll be I can't think straight now. I'll be on my channel at 8 p.m. in like 30 minutes tonight talking about yeah, we got a lot of news to cover because things have happened over the past couple of days, but yeah, I'm seriously like, you got me teary-eyed. I want to go watch Coming to America again now.
Yeah. My son works. What is he now? Yo, you're not to look into my presence. I shall deal with him myself. Bye, everybody. Love you. Mwah! Forehead kisses, everybody.